It's time for the buzz with the Queen Bee on the Devin Dixon Show.
Yeah, welcome back to The Drive. It is that time. One of my favorite times of the week. I know a lot of the listeners as well. We got the Queen Bee doing some of the wild, wacky stories in the world of sports. And then Buzz Time Trivia to close out the show. Queen Bee, where are you calling from this time?
I'm back home in Southern California in Santa Monica.
Oh, right on. Calling from the home base, a rare occurrence. Now, how was New Orleans? How did you grade it out?
No, it was incredible. I was at Jazz Fest and then seeing 2 a.m. shows in the French Quarter. There was some incredible bands in town. I even saw Blink-182 the other night. I mean, come on, that brings it back.
Oh, it does. I love Blink. Holy cow, we'll play Blink leading into next segment. Well, we're all jealous of you, Queen Bee. Let's start with the first story.
All right, so as we know at this point, the Capitals lost Game 7 to the Penguins. And unfortunately, their fans are not, so forgiving about this. So right after they lost, there's this video walking down the street, clearly a Capitals fan, and, he's angry watching this woman really excited about the Penguins winning. And then he gets more angry, so he learns that the Wizards also dropped Game 5 in the NBA Finals. So seconds later, you see this woman walk through the chemist's frame with her arms raised, super excited, and he turns and shoves her to the ground and yells, "Don't be so happy about it." And so obviously people walking by are really pissed off about this, obviously for good reason. And he responds, "I didn't hit her, I just walked through her." Dude, this man is a solid candidate for
put him in the penalty box. Yeah, so
seriously, just shoved the woman for being excited, which he would have been doing as well had his team won.
There's only so much a Washington sports fan can take. You look at a Pittsburgh fan, they win the Super Bowl every other year. They're in the Stanley Cup, whatever. These Washington fans have been long. The Nationals suck. The Senators before them were terrible. And this guy took it all out on this poor lady, it sounds like.
I know. Oh, man. But, in Game 7 also, there was the first fight in Game 7 in 24 years.
Oh, no kidding.
So as we know, there's always, 24 years. So, as hockey fights go, is totally normal. Yeah, I guess Game 7, normally they're taking out their aggression other ways. So, the first fight in 24 years.
I didn't know that,
kind
Mac.
Of
I guess that's kind of protocol for Game 7s. You don't want to get one of your guys put in the box, right?
Yeah, just fighting over the last 30 years has gradually disappeared from the game. So especially in a Game 7, a crucial game, you just don't see it very much unless two players really want to go and they have good reason for it.
All right, Queen Bee, next story.
All right, so I don't know if you saw this the Marlins playing the Cardinals. So there's this woman right behind home plate, and you watch, she's very well endowed up top, and she pulls down her shirt and jiggles herself to try to distract the Cardinals pitcher, but it didn't really work. And the guy sitting next to her turns around and just starts staring, which obviously, out of nowhere, this woman starts to do this and continues it for, a noticeable amount of time.
I don't know what to say. Next question. Next story.
There's a lawsuit that a couple Titans players beat a fan unconscious after arguing about this year's NFL draft. So it happened right after the Titans picked Western Michigan wide receiver Corey Davis, 5th overall. And according to the lawsuit, when this happened, these two Titans players, Tahaj Sharp and Sebastian Tritola, were at the Tin Roof, which is a Nashville bar, and they got into the argument with a local fan. So, the fan goes outside. I guess they claim the players brought him outside. They got in a fist fight, and then he was unconscious for 12 hours. And that, after they knocked him unconscious, someone called 911. So he's saying that he has a concussion, broken bones in his face, facial bruising, and perforated eardrums. Now he's suing the two guys for assault and punitive damages. But obviously their agents are saying this never happened. So we're going to have to wait and see what actually happened with this lawsuit. It sounds insane. Players put themselves at risk.
Right, another horrible off-season story out of the NFL. Yeah, obviously waiting for more facts, but it does not sound, remain unconscious for 12 hours. That's basically a mini coma, given a concussion, broken bones in the face. Yeah, that does not look good for these two young guys from the Titans. Yeah, awful story.
Yeah. So we don't know if that actually happened, but we're going to wait and see. So I guess it'll all play out eventually. This is, this story is upsetting. I mean, it happens in rugby, but it's a terrible story. But I'm hoping, that more people will kind of donate to this GoFundMe. The California Golden Bears, they've dominated college rugby for decades.
Yes.
They've gotten 27 of the past 37 national, 15S titles back to Berkeley. So the team won this year over Arkansas State. This last was 43-13. But unfortunately, their sophomore player, Robert Paylor, sustained a severe spinal injury in the collision, had to be stretchered off the field, taken to the hospital. So now, since the surgery, his lower body is completely paralyzed, and he has limited motion in his arms. Full scholarship athlete. The family set up a GoFundMe page. It's raked in a lot of money since the story went out. They're hosting, the rugby team's hosting a prayer. But, I mean, it's just one of those things. Rugby is a really brutal sport, and I think we forget about, because we don't hear about a lot of these terrible injuries, we forget about how dangerous they actually can be. So this guy, his life is completely changed just because of a hit on the field.
Yeah, with rugby, you think about all of the twisting, and they're so close together, and there's a lot of pulling and grinding with everybody around there. But usually with neck injuries, that requires a severe collision, and there's big tackles in rugby, but you usually think with the neck injuries and the concussions, that comes from football players who are basically armed, launching themselves at one another. But for this to happen, there's just nothing more devastating. I mean, anytime a football player goes down like this, and basically this big of a tragedy, it's like, I think everybody in the stadium goes silent and starts wondering why the heck we play games like this. But, good info there on the GoFundMe page, and, hoping for the best for this young sophomore from Cal. That's another horrifying story out of the world of sports this week.
Yeah. So there's a couple more stories this week. One cracks me up. One is not actually. They both kind of crack me up. Houston has dismissed this MLB prospect after he posed with a bong in a photo and fought a teammate. So his name is Seth Romero, and he's been dismissed from the Cougars program. So apparently, what happened is, he was prior to dismissal, he was considered a potential top 10 pick in the upcoming MLB draft, but he's actually struggled this season. And he's had suspension, and, it just is a mess. So apparently he was getting balls during a round of batting practice against one of their games at UC Irvine, and he slipped behind the outfield wall and was approached by a few kids looking to take a photo. Why then he let them hand him a bong and take a photo, I don't know, though he's not actually using it before the game. Now, this is after, of course, he already fought another teammate. So now, this is the third time he's had to be publicly reprimanded. And so this was kind of the last straw.
The last straw. And it's at first when you said Houston MLB, I was thinking, but you're talking about the Houston Cougars college team. This kid has a bright future. He, as you said, has struggled a little bit this year, but then to do something that dumb. I just don't get people in this day and age. The picture ain't just staying on that kid's phone. It's being blasted on every social media outlet. Everybody's going to see it. I don't understand the lack of foresight, Queen Bee.
Well, that's what I was saying. We talked about this in weeks prior. These young kids, we're talking about social media, how they should know better. They're young, they're dumb, and they're, the thing was when kids were dumb back before social media, they just didn't get caught for it. They just know in the back of their minds that this stuff goes viral constantly, and they're not learning. Yeah,
I'm surprised. I mean, I know this wasn't his, but I'm surprised college athletes and even pro athletes sometimes are allotted so much freedom when it comes to posting stuff. I know in the playoffs, a lot of the times coaches will say no more social media for a couple months, but I'm surprised that they're allowed to do a lot of it because most of the time it seems like they're doing dumb stuff on it. So, another dumb story out of Houston's baseball team.
Oh, my God. And so to finish up with dumb news, I don't know if you guys talked about this, but this story has cracked me up. So Matt Harvey, now it's come out that he missed the game because sad about Adriana Lima going out with Julian Edelman again. Now, give me a break. So as you know, he's a Met star pitcher. He was really touted for being a superstar, and he gets upset with the girl he's hooking up with going out with her ex-boyfriend. And this is my favorite part of the story that they actually reported. He was also upset because he didn't know, and then she unfollowed him on Instagram after she went to the Met Gala after party with Julian Edelman. I love how they actually catch these things and know that she unfollowed him and all this stuff. And he basically went out, got super drunk, dropped a game, and then got super drunk on top of it and totally got in trouble for it. The story is so ridiculous, and it's being talked about so much, and it just makes me shake my head, honestly.
How can you blame her? I mean, Julian Edelman's a winner. Who's Matt Harvey? Seriously. He hasn't won anything.
Yeah, show me your ring, Harvey. Edelman's got a bunch of them. I don't care that he's 5'5" and whatever. She's probably taller than him. She's a supermodel, right?
Yeah, she's a supermodel, because you know those pro athletes and supermodels. So,
yeah.
I mean, this story is so funny, and they just keep showing these pictures of Matt Harvey's sad face. It's the most
Tough week. I knew it had to be something with a girl. When all the weird reporting, all the crap that was going on with him, I knew that a girl was behind it. Quick break. When we come back, Buzz Time Trivia with the Queen Bee. Give us a call, 673-9398. We got Roy's Pizza. We've got Porta Subs and a bunch of other great prizes. Give us a call. Showdown next with the Queen Bee, 673-9398.
Catch the pinnacle of sports info. The Devin Dixon Show, 4 to 6 on Sports Radio 97.7 ESPN from the TDS Cable for Business Studio.
Welcome back. It is The Drive. Show today brought to you by Southwest Diesel, your number one stop for anything diesel, Cummins, Cat, any 18-wheeler. They'll take care of you. Give them a call, 673-6342. Well, it is that time, folks. Buzz Time Trivia with the Queen Bee. Give us a call, 673-9398, 673-9398. And, Queen Bee, sometimes she's tough. Other times she comes in and almost does a favor for the listeners, makes them a little bit easier. I don't know what type of day it is today, Queen Bee. How would you grade your questions this Thursday?
I think they're probably about a 6. They're multiple choice. They're definitely gettable.
Multiple choice? You got to be kidding me. That's very gettable. All right, let's go out to our first caller. Hi, what's your name?
This is Larry.
All right, Larry, good luck. Fire away, Queen Bee.
All right. The topic is weird athlete obsession. Mike Tyson. He's obsessed with either donkeys, pigeons, weeping willow trees, or knee-high socks.
Weeping willow trees.
No, it's actually pigeons.
Oh. Whoops, wrong button. Sorry, Larry. Pigeons, huh? Holy moly, I wouldn't have guessed that one. All right, let's go back out to the phone lines. Hi, caller, what's your name?
Steve?
All right, Steve, good luck. Go ahead, Queen Bee.
All right, Tim Duncan is obsessed with what? Dungeons and Dragons, fishnet stockings, reading every story he can find about himself, or S&M.
I'm sorry, I missed the very first part of that.
What is Tim Duncan obsessed with?
What is
Dungeons and Dragons, fishnet stockings, reading every story he can find about himself, or S&M gear?
Dungeons and Dragons.
You got it.
Yes, good guess. Just like our boy Gordon Hay, he's into some kind of weird video game too. We're gonna hook you up, Steve, with Roy's Pizza. Thanks for calling in. Good guess.
All right, sounds good. Thanks.
Right on. I would not have guessed, although there were some pretty adult options there for Duncan. He seems like a pretty PG guy. So good guess on Dungeons and Dragons. Hi, caller. What's your name?
You never know.
Just Tom.
All right, Tom. Good luck. Go ahead, Queen.
All right, Chad Ochocinco. What is he obsessed with? Facebook, women's purses, swords, or Twitter?
Women's purses.
No, it's actually Twitter. He does it. He tweets about everything, even when he's about to go to the bathroom.
She's putting in all these perverted, weird fetish type stuff. These athletes. Steer away from those. Let's see. Hi, caller. What's your name?
Justin.
All right. Good luck. Go ahead, Queen Bee.
Thanks.
All right. Deani Jones. He's a former Cincinnati Bengals linebacker. What is he obsessed with? Bow ties, Pomeranian, belts, or knee pads?
Bow ties, Pomeranians. What was the other one?
Belts or knee pads?
Bow ties.
Correct.
Yeah. Good job. Let's do another Roy's. Congrats. Thanks for calling in, Dustin. Appreciate it. And Queen Bee, I think you're 2 for 2, but good. That's another one I would not have guessed. Caller's doing pretty good today, making us proud. Let's go back out to the phone lines. Hi, caller. What's your name?
Bob.
All right, Bob. Good luck. Go ahead, Queen.
All right, LeBron James. Gum wrappers, sugar packets, cereal, or haircut trimming?
What was the last one?
Haircut trimmings.
Haircut trimming.
Incorrect, though it would be a funny answer. It's actually cereal.
Well, how are we feeling about LeBron, Queen Bee? Is he about at the right time where he should just shave it? I mean, how deep do you let I'm dealing with this right now, and I'm trying to figure out how deep do you let the hairline go before you just shave your head?
At this point, I say just shave it. He's holding on for dear life, and it's
He is.
he's
I
losing
respect.
the battle.
I respect what he's doing, but it might be time. All right, caller, what's your name?
This is Mike.
All right, Mike. Good luck.
All right, Wade Boggs, Frappuccinos, chicken, fireworks, or sneakers? Hello, caller. Did we lose?
Oh, we must have lost him. Go ahead and call back.
Caller then.
I want to hear the answer to that question. 673-9398. Let's re-ask that one. Sorry, Queen Bee. Go ahead.
All
Caller,
right.
caller, what's your name?
This is Brandon.
All right, Brandon, good luck.
All right, Brandon. Again, Wade Boggs, Frappuccinos, chicken, fireworks, or sneakers?
Fireworks.
Incorrect. It's actually chicken. He's obsessed with eating chicken every single day.
You know, if you would have said Frappuccino, Queen Bee, I would have lost
That's been
so much
awesome.
respect for Wade. One of my all-time favorites, RBI baseball, when did the first RBI come out? I don't know, but he, from the left side of the plate, old Wade. My mom used to be bothered by Wade because he always had that big chew, and we all looked up to him. And anyway, yeah, I'm glad it wasn't Frappuccino. ESPN Radio, what's your name?
This is Nate.
All right, good luck, Nate. Go ahead, Queen Bee.
All right, Marshawn Lynch, Skittles, gummy bears, rock candy, or Sour Patch Kids?
Oh, so gettable.
Skittles.
Yeah!
Yeah, there you go.
Another winner. What do you think, Mac? We got Porta Subs?
We just gave out Porta Subs. Do we have anything else?
Let's do golf. You a golfer?
Yep.
All right, let's do probably either Sky Mountain or Sand Hollow. We'll have a round of golf for you here at the studio. Thanks for calling in.
Great.
All right, thank you, Queen Bee. Did a good job. I thought those were gettable, and some winners, some happy listeners off the Queen Bee today. Thanks, Queen Bee, and we'll look forward to next week.
No problem. See ya.
All right, a quick break here on The Drive. Show today brought to you by California Custom Golf. Go get custom fit just like all the pros do. Carson Jones, Master Club maker, been doing it for a long time. He's got the Launchpad radar system. He can fit your clubs just the way you need them to get the most out of your golf game and lower your scores. Visit him at CaliforniaCustomGolf.com or over on Riverside Drive by Melted Massage and Be Hot Yoga. Quick break. When we come back, wrapping up the show, final predictions for tonight's NBA games.
Do you have a brain?
We all like to save money on everyday purchases, right? Of course you do. Well, this is Tony with Dixie Direct, and we are almost sold out of the 2017 20th anniversary Dixie Direct Savings Guide, but it's not too late to save because the card is still good through Halloween. This is Southern Utah's #1 way to save for the past 20 years, and seriously has something for everyone, including over 40 free offers, 2-for-1 dining at 75 local restaurants, and up to 50% savings on golf, entertainment, auto, health, beauty, and more, and still only $35. But guess what? If you take advantage of our $10 off coupon and your new green pages coming in your mail, you can get one for only $25. What are you waiting for? Check us out at DixieDirectCard.com. Do you have a brain? Get a Dixie Direct and start saving today.
Got to get a Dixie Direct card. Got to get a Dixie Direct card.
Yep, just driving home from work. I should be home in about 15 or 20. It's terrifying, but can happen to anyone, anytime, even you. And when it does, who are you gonna call?
One Law, the most trusted injury law firm in Southern Utah. One Law dedicated personal injury attorneys will be with you every step of the way. Visit us at onelaw.com or call 634-1LAW.
Sliced fresh sandwiches every day, made right before your eyes. The Port of Subs way could be a smoking number.